You're the title. How to make every day a good day. Now, to be honest, it's a little clickbait. Obviously, you can't make every single day of your life a quote-unquote good day. But what you can do is you can make it so you get more enjoyment from little things in your life you normally wouldn't. And this is something that I've been doing in my life for a while now, especially on my journey of self-improvement, and it has absolutely transformed the way I live, the way I interact with people, the way I see the world around me. And I can't stress enough how powerful it really is to see the world the way a child does. Now, chances are if you're watching this video, you're either an adult or you're around my age, and something I've really noticed is that once you get to be about a teenager, or even earlier, I've realized with a lot of kids these days, it is you start to lose that sort of childlike wonder in the world, right? You lose that sense of awe in every little thing, right? When I was a little kid, my parents used to tell me, don't go into the woods when you're little, and don't go in the woods alone, even though I literally live surrounded by woods. They used to tell me about, don't go in there because they're worried that we, trip and fall and hurt, break our skulls or whatever, and or then get lost or anything, right? Because we're surrounded by woods. And the woods are, I'm not going to stress this enough, I love the woods, but there is a danger to them, right? You can slip and fall, everything's kind of sharp and poking at you, and it can be a dangerous place, but it's also one of the most beautiful places on earth, right? And I absolutely love it here. And so it's kind of funny. Okay, I don't show this, but this is where I record all of my videos. Is this fort, right? That me and my friend and my brother built, and it's just one of those things where so there's a story behind this, right? So the fort that I just showed you actually used to be our tree house, and was in this really huge, really gnarly looking oak tree. Really, really awesome, right? We had a great tree house. We had a slide that, I don't know if you saw it earlier, but there's this slide, right? There was a slide, tire swing, sandbox underneath. It was awesome, right? And my dad helped us build it, and it was great. And one day, we're coming home from something, I don't even remember, but I remember looking out in the yard and going, Mom, and being terrified because a massive branch from this tree, because this oak tree was so huge that each branch was bigger than most trees, and so a huge branch went boom, fell right on top of our treehouse and just smashed it to pieces. It was destroyed, and so we rebuilt it, and we built this fort here, and yeah, that's where it sits now. We don't use it really; it's just here. But yeah, it's just really great. And for a while, I've been thinking about maybe converting to a hunting blind. There's a lot of deer that move around here, but that's a sidetrack. But recently I was thinking about, okay, remember how life was before, how summer was, and how the wonder of the world around you was. And I started to realize little kids don't really have bad days, right? It's always the adults or teenagers that go, oh yeah, I'm just having a rough day, I'm just having a bad day. And that's why I was moody earlier. And I realized little kids don't have bad days. And you might think, well, yeah, they have nothing to be stressed out about. They have nothing to be worried about, right? Because, they just play games all day. And some of that's true, but also it's a lot of it with their mindset, the mentality of kids. And how when you take a kid into the woods, how they see it, right? I remember, because my parents used to tell us not to go into the woods very much, and obviously I'm in the woods right now, that's where that fort is in the woods, when we were little, and I remember the first few times I went into the woods, with my parents, camping, and it was just such a magical, wonderful experience, because when you're in the woods, it's this unique place, right? we live in a world now where, the only time anyone ever sees a tree, it's usually been planted by somebody, like years ago, right? But when you go out in the woods, it's like every single tree, every single bush, every single plant grew here on its own, right? It has had no help from man, right? This exists because man doesn't spend much time in here. That's why it exists. It's the exact opposite of the rest of the world. The rest of the world is the way it is because of humans. The woods and nature exists the way it is because of a lack of humans. I know I'm getting very sidetracked here, but basically the way you can have a really good day all the time is just look on the bright side of everything and look at the world the way kids do, right? I'm not saying, go, be an idiot and run around the woods and get hurt. I'm saying when you look at something, when you see something, think of it as something special, because there's deer or something. Think of it as something special because in a way it is, right? Everything in this world is somehow unique, and at least when I was a little kid, when you'd see something kind of cool or kind of silly, kind of funny, you'd acknowledge that it's cool, that it's silly, that it's funny, that it's neat, that it's unique, right? When you're an adult, for whatever reason, we don't really do that much. When we're an adult, we can just be in the woods, right? And we can be like, yeah, trees. I got a bunch of stuff to do in 10 minutes, so I gotta go get out of here, right? When you're a little kid, you go, whoa, look at all the trees, look at all the dirt, look at all the leaves, and like picking up leaves and like tearing it apart and like looking at stuff around you, and like seeing animals run around you and birds chirping and crickets going crazy. And just now I was walking in here, I saw 2 deer, and actually one of them was only a couple yards away from me, and it was this bigger doe. And there's like this, before I get into the woods, like between my house and the woods and the yard, there's like this like big like kind of not big, but it's like this little patch of just like taller grass and like a bunch of weeds. And then you get into the woods, and deer will a lot of times have their babies in there because the babies can hide in the tall grass. And this big doe is just sitting there, and when does have fawns, usually deer run away, but when there's a doe and it has a fawn, it just stays there. It will literally stand over top of its baby and just look at you, and it's honestly really scary. Like I'll be walking in, right, and honestly this happens all the time. I'm making videos. I'll be walking in to make a video with my phone in one hand, dogs right next to me. My cat was just here. I don't know. Oh, he's right there. Yeah, and we're all 3 of us are walking in the woods because for whatever reason they like to follow me wherever I go. It's really cute. And then I'll just look up, like, cause I'll just be kind of looking around. I'll just look up and I'll see a big doe just like looking directly at me, and and we just stare at each other. And it's honestly like really, I don't know, it's just like this weird primal feeling of like being close with the natural world, right? Because I don't know why it is, but for whatever reason, like, that's a rare and unique experience, and that can make my day a good day or a bad day, right? And that can make my day is having unique experiences like that. And so to make every day a good day can literally just mean going for a walk in nature every day, right? And maybe it doesn't have to be every day, right? But doing something interesting, doing something different, doing something unique every day. And then when something unique happens, actually acknowledge it and appreciate it and think about it and dwell in the moment of like, wow, that was a really unique experience, right? Recently, I got a ton of poison ivy all over my legs. That's why I've been like scratching. I know you're not supposed to scratch poison ivy, and I really shouldn't be, but it's like, it's really annoying. I got a ton of poison ivy on my legs, and normally I would think, oh my gosh, it's so miserable, and like, it is pretty miserable. I'm not gonna lie to you, poison ivy sucks, but like, I've never had poison ivy before. It's a unique experience, and I get to like experience the fact that I have poison ivy. Even though it sucks, it's not making my day a bad day. I'm not gonna think, oh, woe is me, I have poison ivy. I'm gonna think, oh, I have poison ivy. That's weird. It's kind of cool. Like I get to do stuff I would never do before in my life. Like for the first time ever, I've been putting poison ivy lotion on. Like I hate lotion. I hate that it's sticky. I hate lotion. But for once in my life, putting on lotion actually feels like the greatest thing ever because it's getting rid of my itch, and it's like that's a unique experience that a lot of people don't get to have. Even though poison ivy does suck, a lot of people will go their whole lives and never have poison ivy. I thought I was immune for the longest time because my great grandpa's immune to poison ivy, and I have never had, even though I literally live with poison ivy everywhere, right? But I finally got, and yeah, like I don't know, life. You have to live. You have to actually live your life. You're not in this world just to go through the motions, just to experience. You have to live your life. See the world around you and appreciate the world around you, right? So next time you're going for a walk, next time you're having kind of a dull day, you're not really feeling good about yourself at all, just think about little things that you could be grateful for. Go in the woods, go for a walk, right? Even if you can't do that, probably go for a park, whatever it is, right? Maybe even if you live in a big metropolitan city, right? Go for a walk down the street. You know, next time you see a plant growing in the crack, be grateful for that plant growing in the crack on the sidewalk because it's giving you a little bit of beauty, even though it's living a pretty hard life in that sidewalk. That's all I got for today. God bless you, and stay wild.